standing in a fairground with one of those ridiculous machines where the claw comes down and totally ineffectively grabs at a shell containing a toy and drops it long before it ever gets to its intended destination is surely one of the most demoralizing things to do with a young child. Although, ironically, marginally less demoralizing than the claw, by some miracle, actually managing to grab the shell, drop it into the deposit box, into the eager hands of your child, only for your child to discover what you knew all along, which is that the anticipation of the toy, slight as it was significantly less disappointing than the toy itself. It's a little tongue-in-cheek microcosm of what can be our hopes and dreams, even as adults. We invest huge amounts of energies pursuing relationships and achievements that we think will bring well-being, only to find if we ever attain them that they fail to hold the weight of our expectations and longings. And I've been thinking of that fairground machine experience as I've been reflecting on the words of the Apostle Paul, written in his letter to his young apprentice Timothy: take hold of the life that is truly life. This week, we've been thinking on a phrase, an idea really, that is repeated multiple times in the Bible: eyes that see. In the English language, we use the language of sight, perceptive, insightful, to articulate a person who really understands the depth of a reality. And we have been considering what it might take to see ourselves as we are and to open our eyes to God. But the forward thrust of the phrasing doesn't have seeing or understanding as its final goal. We're invited on seeing ourselves and our need more clearly, on apprehending God, to turn our hearts to Him and find in Him healing, really a word intended to designate life, well-being, wholeness. This proves to be a journey with pitfalls. Even starting well is a struggle, pushing past the picture-perfect pretense of our social media lives, the outward projections of who we want to be and want to be seen to be, the shattered illusions of our sense of power or control. We can dare to live in the vulnerability of recognizing our brokenness, our desires, our needs. All of this is a battle for an awakening. For, of course, we can put ourselves into a self-induced spiritual coma, anesthetize any sense of pain or need or guilt or powerlessness. The gift of seeing is the gift of awakening to reality. But even if we have awakened, there seems to be a continuous pull against us, diverting us from moving past the reality of seeing to healing and to life. In the Old Testament, as we read of the people of God grabbing after one solution and then another to their various desires and predicaments, the prophet Jeremiah cuts through with the words, "Why do you go about so much changing your ways? You will be disappointed by Assyria just as you were by Egypt." It's a comment on needs and desires misdirected. Is it possible that we've been trying one thing and then another, one fix and then another, and it always falls short? There are moments, glimpses, when we feel the whole system is flawed, but we numb ourselves to that so quickly and we latch on to the next hope, the next promise. My people have committed 2 sins. They have forsaken me, the spring of living water, and have dug their own cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold water, 1,500 years on from when they were spoken. These words address our hearts. For whether or not we've ever dared to look at the face of God and draw close to Him, we seem to continue to grab hold of a whole host of things that appear to be life, but are not fully life. Good things even, that nevertheless crumble under the weight of being made ultimate things. A radical invitation is being made. Jesus Christ, speaking to His disciples, said that he had come so that we might have life, and life in all of its fullness, life abundantly, and went on to state those iconic words, I am the life. Perhaps today we might stop and reset our gaze on him, reset our lives on him, set our hopes, our longings on him, as we recognize him as the source that can hold the weight of our lives. In other words, perhaps today we might take up the challenge, the invitation, the adventure, take hold of the life which is truly life.